Good afternoon, Madison. So tell me, how's the funeral? Actually, you know what? Don't tell me. I don't really care. But, it's over now, right? Is everyone gone yet, or are people still just hanging around and talking? There you are, Leah. Where have you been all this time? You knew today was your father's funeral, so don't pretend like you forgot or something. But yeah, congratulations. You managed to miss the entire thing. The funeral just ended a few minutes ago. Now, if you don't mind me asking, just what have you been doing all this time? I've been trying to get a hold of you since this morning, but you never texted or called me back. Aw, did I miss it? What a bummer. I've been dying to go to my dad's funeral. Get it? Dying because he's dead. You were being so obnoxious with your constant calls and texts that I just completely turned off my phone until just now. Seriously, why would you even think I wanted to go in the first place? Funerals are so dreary. Leah. And besides, I have been super busy this entire morning. I have so much to do and so little time. I haven't even left my dad's house since I got here. What has it been now? 10 years since I've been to Dad's house? But everything is still basically exactly like it was when I last saw it. Madison, I don't think I need to remind you of the fact that you are in our house right now. Would you mind explaining to me why in the world you think you have the right to just go inside without our permission? And what's this about you being busy? What are you doing in our house? Huh? What are you talking about? I was born in this house, you moron. My dad literally built it with his bare hands. And by literally, I don't actually mean literally, but you get that, right? In just one lifetime, he went from being born in a dirt-poor family to starting his own company. Then, as a testament to his wild success, he built this massive mansion. And starting today, he will finally achieve his ultimate life goal. Passing it all on to me, his daughter. This was never your house, and it's never going to be your house. But it is our house. No, it's mine. I'm the firstborn child, not John. What, did you think you were actually going to get the house when you married my little brother? Get real. While you were busy staring at my dad's rotting corpse, I've been busy clearing all your crap out of my house. You'll find it out in the front yard. I suggest you pick it up quickly. The forecast calls for rain tonight. And never come back to my house ever again. Hold on, Leah. You're throwing an awful lot of information at me all at once here. So, I guess the long story short is that you want the house and all of your dad's estate? I don't get what's so confusing about that. Think about it. Who is his firstborn child? Well, you, but nothing. It's me. I'm the firstborn child. You know what that means, don't you? Well, I suppose in the past, the birth order may have had more of an impact, but inheritance laws have changed since, the Middle Ages. That's where you're wrong. Laws mean nothing. I'm the firstborn child, and that means this house, this land, and all of Dad's money is now mine. Did you really think that just because you lived with him for a few years that he was going to leave you anything? We've never really thought too much about what happens with your dad's estate. Oh, yeah, sure. I'd believe that. Admit it. That's what the last 10 years have been about for you, taking my inheritance away from me. I bet you thought you were going to get away with it too, didn't you? You played your part so well, always being helpful, taking care of Dad as his health got worse. Every time you changed his diapers, you were probably shutting out all the nasty images by thinking about his money and how you were going to spend it. Well, sorry, but you weren't planning on one very important thing. I caught on to you. That's why I had to work fast during the funeral while you two were out of the house. Now there's no way you're getting any of Dad's inheritance. It's all mine. Leah, that is shocking, to say the least. You really want to keep all your dad's inheritance for yourself? You bet. It's all mine. This house, the furniture, the gold, the jewelry, his bank account, stock portfolios, everything. Remember, he was the sole proprietor of his company when he died, so I bet he's got millions stashed away, and I'm not going to give you two any of it. When your dad got hurt, he asked us to move in with him to help him out, and we willingly agreed. We've done everything for him since then. We've cooked for him, cleaned for him, and yes, like you said, I even changed his diapers for him. We even planned and executed his funeral all by ourselves. You never helped us out with any of that. That's what you get for marrying the youngest child of the family. John can do all that menial, boring crap. That kind of work is beneath me. Besides, Dad always favored me ever since I was a little girl. He gave me everything I ever wanted. I've never had to work a single day in my life. He wouldn't have wanted me to deal with any of that stuff. He just wants me to stay his pampered little princess forever. And when you married my loser brother, you signed up for the job of being his live-in maid. So I don't get why you think you're entitled to anything of my dad's. All you did was do your sacred duty to him. I don't recall agreeing to any such arrangement. You don't have to agree. That's just the way of the world. Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. Women who marry the youngest son of the family gotta change their father-in-law's diapers. And besides, you had tons of fun living with him, didn't you? You get to keep the memories of the time you shared with him for the rest of your lives. That should be more than enough inheritance for you. Tons of fun? What are you referring to specifically? Did you really think I didn't know? It's a small town, Madison. Word travels fast. I've heard all sorts of things through the grapevine about you, like how my dad was giving you a bunch of spending money every month. I have no idea what you're talking about. Again, drop the act, Madison. I know everything. Dad was giving you two tons of money to thank you for living with him and taking care of him. And you were using that money to take luxury vacations all around the freaking country, you greedy moocher. What? Luxury vacations? That's news to me. God, you are determined to keep up this facade, huh? Whatever. Dad always spoiled you, so don't you give me any BS about how you were working hard to take care of him. It wasn't just you living there. You had John to help you out too. Between the two of you, how much work could it possibly have been? Seriously, you already got to live in his sweet house for 10 years and take a bunch of his money, but you want more? How greedy can you be? Okay, I've heard enough of these baseless accusations. None of that is true. I have never taken a single cent from your father. I just caught you, Madison. You denied taking his money, but you didn't say anything about all your luxury vacations. You were going on trips at least 2 or 3 times a month and always staying in super expensive luxury hotels. How else can you explain that other than taking money from my dad? I mean, with how much you were out of town, it makes me wonder whether you were really looking after my dad or not. Did you just leave him in his bedroom with a bottle of water and a bag of chips while you were jet-setting around the country or something? Yeah, that's got to be it. My poor dad, he didn't deserve to live out the last years of his life in the care of such a lazy, greedy, careless, heartless moocher like you. Leah, that is enough. I am not going to sit here and let you keep insulting me like this. Do you have any idea how difficult it's been for us these last 10 years? Do you know all of the things I had to do in order to take care of your father? And not to mention, you never helped your dad with anything. You never even came to visit him once. So no, I'm not going to listen to any criticisms from you about taking care of your dad. We agreed to live with your dad because we love him. We were never after his money. Oh, is that right? Well then, I guess you won't have any problem with me taking the whole pot. I won't give you or my dorky little brother 1 single cent of the money I'm getting from Dad. I'm keeping his extravagant estate all to myself. If you could stop monologuing like a supervillain in a comic book from the 1980s for 5 seconds, I can clear everything up for you. John already disclaimed his inheritance. Oh, really? Awesome. John sure is a good little boy. He knew he didn't have any right to Dad's stuff. All right, well, that makes my work a lot easier then. I thought I was going to have to use Dad's money to hire an elite team of lawyers and sue you. Now I need to get my things sorted out in my new house. Get your crap out of my front yard and never darken my doorstep again.
Hey there, Madison. I just got your message. Tell you the truth, I've been expecting that she would try to pull a stunt like this for some time now. I guess the only thing that surprised me is the fact that she made her move so quickly. Like, she didn't even wait until Dad's funeral was over. I'm really sorry you had to deal with all of that.
Don't worry about me, I'm fine. Are you still talking with some of your relatives at the funeral home? I'm sorry I interrupted you. It's just that I was so shocked by her audacity that I felt like I needed to talk to somebody about it. That, and also that it seemed important for me to inform you as soon as possible. Anyway, as soon as I got done talking to her, the very first thing I did was call a moving company to come and pick up all our things from the house. They hauled all that away to a rental locker, so that's fine. My next order of business was to book a place for us to sleep tonight, and I thought we deserved a treat, so I went ahead and reserved the penthouse at the Palatial Hotel downtown.
Holy cow! You booked us that room?
I told you, we deserve a treat. We've been working so hard for so long. And it's not just about the funeral today. For the last 10 years, we've been dedicated solely to taking care of your dad. From the day we moved in, we started cleaning and cooking for him, and then his health got worse, and we gradually took on more and more responsibilities. Plus, this funeral was wonderful. We had people flying in from all over in order to come, and we coordinated that all by ourselves.
You're totally right. A bunch of Dad's old business associates even came in. I had so many old dudes I didn't know come up to me to shake my hand and tell me how much they respected my dad.
And your sister Leah never even lifted a finger to help us. It was all you and me and our incredible teamwork that made this happen. So yeah, we definitely deserve a break for the first time in 10 years.
You know what, Madison? You're absolutely right. We're finally done for 10 years of hard work and dedication to my dad. And now, it's time for us to make up for all the fun we've missed out in the meantime.
That's the spirit. Really though, what is your sister thinking? She actually woke up today and decided to start a fight over inheritance before your dad's body is even in the ground.
I told you, I was expecting she'd do something like this. She's always been selfish, greedy, self-centered person, ever since we were kids. But even I was shocked by what she did today. She went into our house and threw out all our stuff on the front yard while we were at our dad's funeral. Just when I thought I couldn't be any more disappointed in her.
You should have seen how happy she was when I told her that you had already disclaimed your inheritance and she was free to have everything she wanted.
Yup. That's also just like her. She's like a kid at a birthday party who sees a massive box and starts getting super excited without even knowing what's inside of it. In this case, the box is completely empty. I would pay money to see her face when she opens that box and finds out.
Yeah, I can't blame her for not knowing, though. Whenever we tried to talk to her, she would just ignore all our texts and calls. She threw everything on us all at once and never even cared about your dad enough to call him from time to time. She didn't even know his condition had gotten worse until after he had already died, because she never answered her phone.
You told me that she had bragged about how she was the favorite child. And in all honesty, she kind of has a point. Dad was super lenient on her. She would always force me to do her chores up until I was old enough and strong enough to fight back. But even when I told Dad she wasn't doing any of her own work, she never got in trouble even once. I don't know. I guess maybe that's how all dads treat their daughters to an extent.
I think your dad was probably an exceptional case in that regard, but that would certainly explain why she had no qualms about totally abandoning any responsibility she had to care for her elderly father. No thank you, no sorry for dumping everything on you, just snark and bizarre medieval, I'm the firstborn child egotism.
Yeah, but hey, it's enough about her. We've got some celebrating to do. I'll pick up some drinks and snacks on the way to the hotel room. We'll meet up there. If you get there before me, go ahead and order whatever looks good from room service.
Madison, where are you? Pick up your phone this instant. We need to talk. Would you mind explaining to me where all of my inheritance is? I can't find anything anywhere. Good morning, Leah. I'm going to go ahead and skip over the fact that you demanded I pick up the phone after ignoring my calls for years. I don't think that requires any comment. As for your inheritance, I'm pretty sure you're standing in it right now. You know, the house that you took from us yesterday. I'm not talking about the house, you moron. I'm talking about money. Cash, stocks, bonds, gold, jewelry, anything with monetary value. I have been looking all over the house since last night, but there is nothing here. I found all my dad's bank cards, but when I checked the balance, there was barely anything there. What did you do with all of my dad's money? That is my money. You had no right to take it from me. I'm not hiding anything. You found your dad's bank account information. That's good. Whatever's left in there is your inheritance. Congratulations. What do you think I'm texting you for? I am telling you that there isn't anything left in there. Oh, that sucks. Then I guess you're not getting any money from him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going back to bed. I was up late drinking with your brother, and I'm rather hungover and twice as sleepy. You're not going anywhere until I find where you stashed my dad's millions. There is no chance, zero, that this is all that's left of his fortune. I did the math, and all of Dad's non-real estate assets, including his bank accounts and a few tiny stock portfolios, add up to just a couple $1,000s. He ran a frickin' company, Madison. How did a guy who built an entire company from the ground up die with this little money to his name? I don't know what to tell you, Leah. We didn't take anything of his. Whatever is left in his accounts is all that he had. If you think there's more somewhere, you're welcome to look all you want. After all, his entire house is yours. You can rip open the mattresses, tear down the walls, pry up the floorboards. I don't know, maybe he has a chest of buried treasure in his backyard. Grab a shovel and start digging, I guess. Your attitude is really pissing me off right now, you know that? If I didn't know any better... Wait, that's it, isn't it? Leah, I really want to go back to bed. Can you just get straight to the point and accuse me of whatever nonsense you've got in mind so I can deny it and go to sleep? You did take all of my dad's money, didn't you? I had a feeling that was coming. There's no other way to explain this. You and John knew I was going to come for what was rightfully mine, and you went and hid it all before I could get my hands on it. I should have suspected that was your plan when you were willing to hand over Dad's entire estate to me. You knew his accounts were all empty, and you had already cleaned them out. How long have you been planning this, huh? I'll bet you've been moving his money around a little bit at a time for years to avoid suspicion. And Dad's dementia got pretty bad towards the end, didn't it? That was when you finished stealing it all, wasn't it? You took advantage of a weak and feeble old man to steal the money he had always wanted to leave his favored child. You are sick, Madison. Sick, both of you. That's projection if I ever saw it. You're the one who moved all of our stuff out of that house while we were busy attending your father's funeral. No, Leah, we did not take your dad's money while he was suffering from dementia. Unlike some people around here, we don't do underhanded things like that. Then where is all my dad's money? What happened to it all? I know he was loaded. You had better have a pretty damn good explanation for this. I was supposed to start living a life of luxury today, but how am I supposed to do that without any of my dad's money? I do not believe you're innocent. I have every reason to believe that you and John are the culprits.
Calm down a second, Leah. Madison was telling you the truth. That really is all that's left of Dad's money. I'm sure you're wondering why you're not getting the massive inheritance that you were counting on. And the answer is very simple. Dad spent it all by himself.
What?
Oh, please, for the love of God, Leah. Stop throwing all these baseless allegations against Madison and me. If you want someone to yell at, you can yell at me. Madison doesn't deserve any of this, though. She was incredibly kind to our dad for all 10 years that we've been living with Dad.
Wait, something's different. Madison, is that you?
No, Leah. It's me, John, your brother. I was sleeping rather soundly until Madison came and woke me up a moment ago. She told me she wanted me to see what you had been saying to her via text.
Oh, all right, then you start explaining. You said Dad used all his money on himself? What do you mean by that? Dad's not the kind of person who would waste all his hard-earned money. He always lived an incredibly simple lifestyle. He said that was because he remembered the hard times he went through as a kid and didn't want to waste any money. His only hobbies, as far as I can remember, were things like walking and reading. Nothing that costs that much money.
That was true while he was still working. But after he got hurt, he started to change. Big time.
Change? Like how?
You remember when Dad was in a car accident 10 years ago, right? Ever since then, he hasn't been able to walk the same. That's why he asked us to come and live with him. It was also ever since then that Dad started to change. The lesson he took from the accident was that you never know what the future may bring, so you should enjoy it while you can. So he started doing a whole bunch of things he always wanted to do.
His lesson wasn't just that he shouldn't be driving anymore?
Trust me, we tried to drive that point home, but nothing we said got through to him. So yeah, he started doing a new hobby basically every month, each one more expensive than the last. One day, he decided he wanted to try his hand at fishing. So what do you suppose he did? He went out and bought a top-of-the-line state-of-the-art fishing pole. For whatever reason, he thought the most expensive one would be the best one. So he bought a pole that was actually made by a high-end fashion brand. The price tag was over $10,000.
What? $10,000 for a fishing pole?
Right? But that was on the cheaper end for his hobbies, actually. Seemed like each new hobby he wanted to try out was more expensive than the last.
That's insane. And you were responsible for him. Why didn't you talk him out of that ridiculous spending?
We tried to encourage him to buy cheaper things, but at the end of the day, it was his money. He worked hard to earn it, and he deserved to spend it how he saw fit. We didn't think it was our place to tell him what he can and can't buy.
I know what's going on here.
You do? Then please explain.
You didn't stop Dad's crazy spending sprees because you didn't want him to stop. You wanted him to spend as much as you can so you could get your slice of the pie. You made him buy 3 of everything, didn't you? 1 for each of you. Oh, you think this is funny? You think it was funny when you encouraged Dad to waste all of my inheritance away? You disgust me. You took all his money. You made him buy you a bunch of expensive stuff, and Madison made him take her on luxury vacations. Every cent that he spent on you is money that should be in my bank account right now.
Whoa, wait, luxury vacations? Is that what you think Madison was doing? If it was her choice, she wouldn't have gone on any of those stupid trips. She only went along because Dad made her come with him.
Huh? I don't get it. She didn't want to go on a luxury vacation?
I'm trying to tell you, those vacations were anything but luxurious. After having his fill of trying out every hobby that has ever existed, and some that he made up, he got bored. As it turns out, being an old man with money to burn and being bored is not a good combination. His next mission was to travel back in time and right all the wrongs he had ever done. He wanted to pass away without having any regrets. The fish thing he wanted to do was go and find the first girl he had ever fallen in love with and see what she was up to these days. That girl, for the record, was someone he had met in elementary school. Next, he wanted to go and find a friend that he had a fight with in high school, so he could finally apologize after roughly 80 years. The trips that you were referring to were all times when Dad dragged Madison to all corners of the country to look for some random person from his past. And every single time they went, Madison was on the hook for booking, transportation, and lodging. And looking for the person Dad wanted to see.
Wait, so you mean those weren't just luxury vacations?
I don't know. I guess they did stay at some pretty nice hotels, but be that as it may, I can assure you that Madison didn't find them very luxurious. Remember that Dad isn't able to get around by himself. That means she had to alternate between holding his arm when he wanted to walk and pushing his wheelchair when he got too tired. Whenever she got back from one of those luxury vacations, the first thing she always did was go straight to her bedroom and pass out.
She was that tired?
Even still, she kept going with Dad wherever he wanted to go.
All right, I get it, but that doesn't change anything for me. I'm still left with nothing.
Yeah, about that. That's not entirely accurate. You're actually left with quite a bit less than that.
Huh?
Did you think Dad blew millions of dollars on hobbies and trips? No way! That's mathematically impossible. No, he blew most of it on his now failing company.
It's failing?
Dad's dementia started setting in. He started to lose his legendary business acumen. He pumped more and more money into projects that were doomed to fail. Toward the end, he actually had to take out quite a lot of debt in order to keep the company afloat.
He was in debt?
Why do you think I disclaimed my inheritance? I didn't want any part of that.
Oh no. How much? How much debt did Dad have?
Do you really want me to tell you?
No, but tell me anyway.
About $1 million.
Oh, is that all?
Is that your honest reaction? Or are you just coping?
I'm just coping. $1 million? Why didn't you tell me? Oh my God, if I had known, I would have disclaimed my inheritance too.
Why didn't you know, Leah? The answer to that question explains a lot about your current crisis.
Well,
it's because you never talked to Dad. If you have just called him every once in a while, you'd have known his dementia was advancing. You'd have known about all his hobbies and his failed business ventures. But since you didn't even give him the time of day, now you're left on the hook for paying off his debts.
you mean I have to pay off $1 million debt by myself? How am I supposed to do that?
You know, I actually have a great idea in that department. Would you like to hear it?
Duh, it's not like I have any ideas of my own.
It's very simple, actually. Step 1, get a job. Step 2, work. Step 3, pay off Dad's debt. Good luck!
With Leah's complete lack of redeemable skills, working it off was not actually a viable option. She had no choice but to sell her dad's house, which just so happened to be worth roughly $1 million. That freed her from debt, but left her homeless and penniless. Her adventures weren't over yet, though. She thought that since her father managed to build a massive company from scratch, that she could do the same. She took on a massive loan of her own to start a cafe, which didn't go very well for her. It seems she didn't inherit her father's business sense after all. On the day her cafe opened, she realized she hadn't even come up with a menu yet, so she had to make that up on the fly. While she was writing the menu, she left the gas stove on in the kitchen. This caused a fire that burned down the building. You might be thinking, she had fire insurance, right? Wrong. She's now working on yet another business idea to hopefully pay off the debt she took out to start up her cafe.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.